What's up, everybody? It's Tim, High Noons Vinyl, your friendly neighborhood vinyl guy. Oh, my buddy Jacob. New Sounds and Old. That's his new channel name. I too went through a channel name change sometime last year, and kind of, allows you to better define who you are. Sometimes you just need a change in direction. So go check him out. Some of you are probably already subbed to Jacob. He used to be called Moen Rock, which is named for the area, city, province. I don't remember. He's from Moen, so or Moen. I can't remember how it's pronounced. I'm not going to try to officially attempt it because I would butcher it. But so anyway, Jacob wanted to kind of kick off the new name with a contest or a drawing, if you will, of share a new record and share an old record. And in my last video, I said that I had gotten a new record, and new, like it was brand new. It was new for 2020. It was new to me, all the way around new, for Christmas from my good friend John at the Digital Gramophone. So when Jacob said he wanted to do this and he wanted you to feature a new album and an old album to kind of as a recommendation, this one was a layup. I mean, it didn't even take 2 seconds for me to think about it. And it's this record, Bartees Strange. So Bartees Strange, this is his debut album, Live Forever. It dropped this year in 2020. He is a multi-instrumentalist. He plays mainly guitar, but can also play, piano and keyboards, bass. I think he dabbles in drums as well. But the guitar is kind of where he's at. He is indie rock. If I had to, if this were in my record store, and where do I put it? I would put it in indie rock. But he has so many styles and so much diversity to his sound. He really is influenced by a lot of different things. So Bartees was a military brat growing up. Family moved around a lot because dad would get stationed here, there, everywhere. But for the majority of his formidable years, he lived in Oklahoma. His mom is an opera singer. So she would, perform when she could. She would, I think she taught, I don't know if she had held private vocal lessons. I might put that down. No one stays me stand like a record. Although you might, because you don't want to see my face. Anyway, but she probably taught piano. I think she taught piano. I think she had vocal training and stuff like that. So music was always around him. Started out in church choirs and church bands and things like that. But he also talked about growing up in Oklahoma, where kind of hard for an African-American kid to find a lot of other African-American kids to find their sounds. So while he, obviously influenced by television and the internet and radio, also influenced by local sounds as well. He talked about being, in one interview I saw, talk about being in a band in high school, and he pretty much covered Garth Brooks because that's what you did in Oklahoma. So he got just a lot of different musical influences in his life. He, in one interview, talked about TV on the radio. I can hear so many different things in there, which we'll get into in a second. So he put out an EP of covers this year, and he was kind of moved to do it because he went to go see, pre-COVID, he went to go see the National live, and he looked around and he's like, I'm the only black guy here. And wasn't like, just was like, there's something there. So he put out an EP of covers of the National, and it got some people's attention. But then he put out this, and then this is original songs. I want to say there's like 9, maybe 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11. So But it's a shorter album. I mean, I don't even think it breaks 40 minutes. But, you know, some great albums aren't super long either. So you get a sense of the music he listened to growing up on this album. You get a sense that he was influenced by some of the country that he would hear, you know, in Oklahoma. You would get a sense of, at times you almost get that gospel sound. Like I said, it's very much an indie rock. Like, that's where it starts. But you start thinking about some of those indie rock bands that would change, you know. Like Radiohead comes to a big one, not indie rock, but at the time they were kind of alternative. But they started off as one thing, and then they progressed into something different. And you hear that sometimes in the same song. What's intriguing about all of that is I've heard albums where bands or musical acts or whatever have a song where it's, this sounds like that, or this is influenced by that. And the next one is, it's influenced by this band, or okay, now I'm going to do a Southern country twang song, or I'm going to do a blues song, or whatever. And you hear all that, and it's disjointed. It's not connected in any way. But Bartees really has a difference about that. Everything that is on this album sonically, he's paying homage to for giving him a foundation. He's not throwing darts at a dartboard looking to see what might stick. He's very, very confident in his sound, which is something you don't always get out of the gate with a band who has so many different influences. When you have that many influences in your life and you kind of piece this together, it's like you're trying to find your sound. He's doing it in a way that says, yes, that's part of me, and this is part of me, and this is part of me, and this makes up who I am. But the proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, it's like, so what does this guy sound like? So the best I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to give you a few samples off of this one. Like I said, this is Bartees Strange's debut album. It is, mine's on brown and red wax. So I'm going to give you a few tastes. I'll put the song titles down below so you can experience just what Bartees has to offer on his debut full-length album, Live Forever. So let's check that out. Now, the other one that Jacob asked the show was recommend something old. There's a lot of music out there, and we're all crate diggers by nature. It's what we do. We pull this out, we Google it, we watch other videos, be inspired by a new album or a band or something that strikes a nerve with us that we'll go eventually buy. I'm not saying that we're all encompassing and we or I or any one of us know everything there is to know about music, but it's kind of hard to pull a fast one on a lot of us. And we share it here. But this one, I don't know, this one doesn't get a lot of talk in the VC, and I get it. It's not for everybody. That's these two from David Axelrod, Songs of Experience and Song of Innocence. So David Axelrod was a producer mainly for Capitol Records for a good stretch. And he produced some incredible jazz albums. I mean, he did a long run of like Cannonball Adderley for Capitol, a whole bunch of people. But he was also a composer and, would use some of the Capitol house bands and stuff like that to record his music. Now, he did 3 for Capitol. And I showed one on my 2020 vinyl tag and one that just don't get, and it's called Earth Rot. And of the 3, that's probably the most out there. But these two, Songs of Experience and Song of Innocence, really inspired a lot of, David Axelrod as a whole, it inspired samples in hip hop. So there's a lot of interesting, I'd say call them breaks, but just chop samples. This album was a huge influence on DJ Shadow when he was recording his first album, Introducing. I think sometimes it gets classified as psych rock, which is far off. It has psych elements in these two, but I would call it more of a jazz experiment. Not in a free jazz sense, but he's kind of using some of the other things around to create this jazz experience that is a little different than a normal jazz album. I don't know what I'm going to get through. This is the one of the two. This is where I really think you should go, is Songs of Experience. I am going to try, fingers crossed, to get a couple of these through Standards and Practices, YouTube. I don't monetize anything, so I'm going to see if I can slip through a couple of them. So this is the Now and Again reissue, which sounds pretty good. I know some people have a little bit of questions with that label, but I think it sounds pretty good. And this one's a later Capitol Records reissue. So I'm gonna see if I can get a couple of samples of these two, specifically this one, but I'll see what I can get through of both of them, just to give you a taste of some interesting David Axelrod on the Capitol label. Check that out. So that's it. Like I said, a lot of you might know Jacob. So there's a link below to Jacob's channel. Go check him out. If you're already subbed, thank you. I appreciate it. If you're not already subbed, he changed all his content. So just all I ask is that you give him a chance. He's a great guy. He knows a lot about a lot of different types of music. Will he's the greatest cat. He's one of the greatest cat dads ever. He is truly just a great person to have in the VC, and has a very unique take because he lives in Denmark, for crying out loud. So it's a different perspective. You get to see different music. You get to hear a different thought process. And that's what kind of makes this community just so unique and so special, is that we're seeing the music that we all love through different people's eyes. Check him out. I think you'll be very happy that you did. So, Jacob, thank you for doing this one. I appreciate you, brother. I hope all is well, and hopefully you're staying safe and social distance and all that. And to everybody out there, thank you for watching. Please, again, go check out Jacob. I know I'm pandering at this point, but that's what I do. So I don't have a good ending. I just don't have a good catch-all at the end, like, okay, see you later, or anything like that. I don't. So I'm gonna shut up now. So with that, love you all. Peace.